Hello, Cancer. This is your reading for the week of March 16th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And of course, it will not be for every Cancer. So the first thing that I started to hear as I was working with your energy was a song from Alanis Morissette from many years ago. And the section that I heard was, "You really won me over in spite of me. How could I help but fall head over feet?" And that for me is the essence of this, is that it's a love reading. It's not a love reading necessarily about one person, but it's a love reading about your way of loving and the manner you have loved in the past, which was not always empowering for you, and the way you are aiming to love in the future, or currently. Let's say currently. Now, what Spirit started showing me was two different models. One was the old model. One was like literally like it was like a caption out of a 1950s advertisement. That old nuclear family, husband and wife forever and ever, one job for the man for the rest of his life, and the kids all happy, and 2.5 cards and a picket fence. And or 2.5 kids and 2 cars and a picket fence. So the other model that they were showing me was the current one. And it was a couple that I know of who lives on the same street, married, monogamous, together, different houses. And what I'm getting with this is that for you, my dears, because there has been such a strong empathic tendency for you, and this is something we've talked about before, that there was a natural tendency to overgive if you were not raised with emotional boundaries, and if somebody didn't teach you how to deal with all this depth of feeling that cancers have, that they can experience, they can express. And chances are, most of us have not had somebody in our lives as adults who helped us understand what our emotions were and how our mind worked and how to handle it. We kind of got tossed into this, and most of us have had to figure it out. So this is the thing. What you're being told is this. That was the old way. The old way, the overgiving, the empathy with no boundaries or very few boundaries, the belief system that it was your job to take care of everybody's feelings, not yours, theirs. Your feelings became your primary feeling was, let's take care of everybody else, then I'll feel good, as opposed to getting to underneath what would really make your soul sing. Now, now I'm getting that. Thank you so much. This is you being able to really get in touch with the feelings of your heart. Know what your soul is wanting to sing. This is you being able to connect with the love that is already you, that is in you, that is connected to your empathic heart, but now you're embracing it. And I see it's literally like you're being able to put on a mantle that is allowing you to be able to experience your full heart without giving it all away. Experience your full heart and radiate that love and attract what you need to you, which means you don't have to go with the old 1950s model. You can have any model you want. You can have people on the same street. You can have nobody at all. You can be perfectly happy with you and your cats, or your dogs, or your fish, or your wombats. It doesn't matter. You get to decide what's right for you. And there is now, the great thing about it is, at this time, there are so many opportunities. There are so many things that are accepted as the norm that are not the old model of the nuclear family. And what you're being told is the time is different now. The reason that it is no longer appropriate is because that is a function of the old system. It does not mean that is not also going to be embraced again by other people, but with a healthier mindset, with more of an understanding, because that old way of relating for very few people was equitable. This is now about fairness, equality. It's about creating cooperation rather than dominance and power. It's about honesty and transparency, no emotional manipulation. This is where we're moving. And Cancer, this is where you really get to move out of what has felt for you, probably for many of you, like a cycle you're never going to get out of. You will. And you're being told, you go for it. You go for it. And the way that you do this, the way you start learning how to really set those boundaries is first by knowing what it is you're feeling. So you're being asked to please really pay attention to what you're feeling and not just have it pass through you and say, oh, that's it. There are so many feelings underneath one. You can say love, and underneath love, there can be fear, there can be anxiety, there can be commitment, there can be jealousy, there can be need, there can be adoration, there can be so many things. So it's never really just one pure emotion. There's always a schmozzle together. Now, the way for you to be able to move forward with this, again, what they're saying is notice a name, breathe, and notice how it changes. And this is a really, really great technique that you can use over anything when you're making a decision about how you want to move forward. Again, it's not so difficult to know how to move forward when you're aware of what you're feeling. So you're being told, if you want to get more in touch with your feelings in a way where you can really discerningly decide what kind of boundaries you want to set for yourself and understand what actually would suit you. I know what I would want and not want. It's very different than what I thought I might want at 30. So this is you getting a chance to really check in with it. And the truth is, at 30, I wouldn't have really wanted what I would have gone for, but I would have still been working on the old fantasy stories and expectations based on the old paradigms, or I would have been fighting against them. So here you go, Cancers. This is a love reading, but this is a love reading that is telling you you get to have the kind of love that you want. You get to decide what that is, and you can do that by really, really applying yourself to letting yourself feel what's going on. Okay, that's going to take you out of stuck place. That's going to take you out of the energy of hopelessness and this sense of it'll never change. Once you start asking questions and opening things up, the energy around that whole situation, whatever the situation or the subject is, it starts to change. Okay, so ask the questions. What am I feeling? Notice, name it, breathe, and see how it changes. That's the beautiful thing. Emotion, it's an experience of energy, and energy wants to move. We just got to let it. Okay, that's one of the ways that we do, by asking questions and letting ourselves feel, breathing and noticing in our body what's going on. I'm going to leave you with that, my very dear Cancers, and you take care. Thanks for coming.